Hey guys, Ryan here. I'm excited to bring you a new show called Realtors Corner. You know, there's some real estate agents out there, the good ones, the bad ones, the cheesy trends and the gimmicks and the pointer signs and the awards. However, I'm excited to feature and talk to some really good ones on the show. One of those such guys is Kevin Kingma of Platinum Key Realty. I'm really excited to talk to Kevin because I've noticed that he is really innovative. He's being disruptive, and I really want to learn and understand what he's doing with his brand and in his business that's different than the industry standard. So I'm excited to talk to Kevin. I'm excited for you guys to listen to this. Let's go. Okay, Kevin Kingma. Yeah, we're on the pod. Really excited to have you here and talk to you because I have kind of known you throughout the years, but I don't know you, and I'm actually very curious about you and about the way that you do business in real estate. There's a million realtors out there. I know some, but I've just noticed that you just do it differently, and I want to have you on here to discuss that. I'm just like super curious about getting to know you and the way that you do business, and I'm just noticing that you do it differently. So I'd like to explore that with you today. Great to have you on. How can you explain to me how you got started in real estate, like, and maybe what you did before that? Like, what's your story as you got into real estate? Why, what inspired you, that sort of thing?
Well, flattered to be here. Thank you that you want to get to know me.
Yes,
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And before we start, I would like to give a shout out to Anyone Spirits.
Another local
Mount Bridges Spirits.
Yeah.
So
they're killing it.
About, you'll see them in the grocery store and that. So they're making a killing, and they gave me a free hat.
Nice.
So
I need a hat, by the way.
We'll get you one.
Nice. Okay. Appreciate that.
Some tasters. I think I got into real estate. I was in construction, and before I did a lot of trimming, a lot of I made staircases actually when I first got into what we would call construction, and then got into installing those staircases, so I was very hands-on. And then I was trimming houses and that, and then always looking at real estate and seeing that people were flipping houses, right? So I thought that if I get my real estate license, maybe I can flip a house or two, and looks like a fun job, right?
Yeah.
So always hands-on. So I think I just saw real estate as one thing, was just moving a home. And then the hands-on, right? Just making it look as good as you can. So
nice. So that's interesting. So so how long were you in construction for?
16 years.
Wow, really?
I know, eh?
Okay, so that explains a lot.
Right out of high school.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in the construction business, and you're seeing that, hey, like, I have the ability to flip houses, homes. I mean, is it just a natural progression of being in construction that you're just seeing other people flip homes, or you're gaining like enough, knowledge of different trades? Right. Because to me, that would seem overwhelming, man. Like that sounds great on TV, but for me to actually put like I couldn't even imagine. So like, how do you get from construction and flipping houses, now you're going into real estate? Like, break that down for me.
That's kind of what I thought it was TV shows for sure.
Yeah.
Like they were first kind of coming out with, I'm sure 15, 20 years ago, with do it yourself and that shows, which has almost kind of ruined the real estate industry, but we'll get into that later. So I would see people flipping houses and that, and just seeing some houses that are just like, you have a nice street and there's one house that kind of jumps out that needs some work attention. So I always saw what the potential of what you could do with a home. So then I thought, hey, if I get my real estate license, then I could purchase that home under my real estate license. I could fix that home, and then I could sell that home under my real estate license. So I just kind of thought it went kind of hand in hand. So that's what I was hoping to do. I didn't actually think I would become a salesman.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you're kind of in control of the entire process. You don't have to hire out a real estate agent, that sort of thing. When you started to dip your toes, so to speak, into the real estate game, what did you find? Was it what you expected? Was it more than you expected? And I mean, here you are, it's your career, but was that something you thought would become a career, or really it was just kind of a means to flip houses, I guess, where we're at now?
Right. So the company I chose to go and work for, I thought was the closest to a Home Depot, right? So
yeah.
I had to check into the office, and then I would walk in there with like drywall on my pants. I'd walk in there with sawdust on me, and then not exactly an office guy wearing a suit and that.
Yeah.
So they found it kind of funny, but they were telling me, like, in your first year, you should do like maybe 5 houses and 10 would be amazing, right?
Yeah.
So then,
like sales, like selling homes.
Yeah. So
like,
5 to 10 transactions.
5 to 10 transactions per year.
Yeah.
You said, okay.
Yeah. So just in your first year, right? Like 5 to 10 would be great.
So who is it? Who's telling you this? Is this like the industry standard? Is this the expectation for the brokerage? You're like what is, and is that, like, I don't know. Is that a lot? Is that not a lot?
I wasn't sure at first, but I thought when I was getting into real estate. So now I'm jumping around.
That's all right.
So in 2002, I was doing some work with FM 96, and I was heavy Kevy when there was Mindy and that, like Mindy Williams.
Yeah, I remember that.
Paul Damon, right?
Yeah,
so they would give me like maybe 10 minutes on the air, like a flash character.
No way.
Yeah, so I was heavy Kevy. So like I remember when they were just all saying like, it's your brand, it's your logo, you have to say FM 96, FM 96, FM 96. So like if I went to do like a Monday Night Football, it was always FM 96, FM 96, like always mention it. So that I've carried into real estate is my brand is me, right? It's my face, it's that. So getting into this like real estate game, I guess, was more like, do I want to flip houses or do I want to sell? And then I didn't feel like I was really a salesman, but the afternoon girl at FM 96 was Heather Manners. And she told me, Kev, I heard that you're getting your real estate license, because I threw it on Facebook, like saying like, hey, I don't know why, but I'm getting my real estate license. So made kind of a joke out of it too. And then Heather said, listen, when you get your license, I'm selling my house with you. I'm like, I don't even know. Like I just want to flip houses, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So then when I finally got my real estate license, it was in February. And then she wanted to sell her house in like March, April. So then I go to the office and I said, hey, I have a listing. And they're like, already? Like, I guess so.
Yeah.
So then they're like, here, take this, and that, all paperwork. And then they put a bunch of sign here, sign here, sign here. I didn't even know what I was signing. Like, yes, I went through the schooling. Yes, I passed this. Yes, I did this. But when you go out to the real world, I'm like, uh-oh. Like, so I sit down with Heather and I'm like, I don't even know what you're signing, right? I'm like, I don't even trust me. She's like, I trust you. I'm like, I don't trust me. So we just went through the sign here, sign here, sign here. And I remember leaving there going, now what? I'm like, okay. So I put a sign into the ground. And I remember it just going like FM 96, FM 96, right? Mm-hmm. So then I put my face on a sign. And when that was a time where people just had their name, like Joe Smith, like real estate. So with me, like I threw my face on a sign, didn't think I was a model, anything like that. But a lot of people said, hey, now we know who we're working with. With my sign, I just remembered FM 96 saying like use our brand, use our logo, blah, blah, blah. So then I thought of going like, my brand is my logo. That's my face, right? Don't think I'm a model, but I put my face on a sign. And then there were a lot of people who maybe I didn't really know them, but they knew me through something. So they're like, hey, now we know who we're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
So got some calls just because like, hey, like now we know who we're dealing with, not just a name on a sign with a number. Right? Yeah. So that kind of changed. And then after that, I saw a lot of people getting their faces on their signs and that, which is fine. But I also used Facebook as a platform to advertise, I guess, right? Where there was nobody really jumping with their clients, having a good time. I made signs like Heather was my first real estate deal. So after watching The Office, I made a sign that said, she was my first. And then Heather had a sign that was saying, I was his first. So not exactly saying like I was her first, she was my first, but just, putting that out there, kind of tongue in cheek.
That's funny. Yeah, that's really funny.
And then on my second sale, it was like somebody I knew very, very close. And then we sold our house in like 5 days, which I think on the market then was about 42 days, right? That a house would sit on the market on average. So we made signs, and then hers said that was quick, and mine said that's what she said. So it's
okay. So that's where I started, I think, to see you. I guess through social media and being like, this guy is doing something different. I think, was it you? You did like an elf on the shelf thing too. I just constantly started to see you. And as a marketing guy, I'm like, oh man, this guy, like he's got something, he's doing it differently. He's kind of poking fun at, I guess, the industry, but you were what I call like, you were really disrupting things, right? And whenever I stop and I pay attention to something, I'm thinking, oh, wait a sec, like that allowed me to stop and pay attention. Yep. What is this person doing differently? That sort of thing. So right out of the gate, you're doing it differently. You're using humor. Now, talk to me about, was that like an intentional strategy, or is that just your personality coming out?
That was my natural, just wanting to be seen, wanting to make other people laugh, wanting to have some fun. Yeah. I've never seen that in real estate.
No,
and to be quite honest, like I didn't really have a game plan going into selling homes. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to purchase homes, flip them, and that. So when Heather asked me to be her real estate agent, I was like, oh gosh, sure, right? Yeah. So I wasn't really looking forward in the future thinking like, how do I grow my brand? How do I do this? It was just having some fun with it, right? Yeah. So didn't really want to like piss anybody off, but didn't really know that I was at the same time, right? So making these signs and handmade signs and then jumping with my clients, or like even getting out there, like taking pictures, like digging a septic, right? So like we have septics in small towns there that hold your business, right? So, and then they get pumped out every few years. So in before closing, the septic would have to be pumped. So I was like, hey, this is kind of fun. It keeps me moving. I was in construction. I'll dig out the tank. I'll save you $150, right? Huh. So I was just started taking pictures of that. Oh, shit. And then people were like, well, now he's like shoveling shit or whatever. Like now he's doing that. And then I just got into doing like things that would kind of get seen, right? And then having fun, where real estate was kind of stiff at the time. And then you see people who kind of follow what you do, and then you kind of have to change up a little bit, keep changing. But my signs were great though. Like if you saw some of my, I think my favorite sign was probably a real good couple. She was pregnant, and then they already had a little one, and they were moving off to Waterloo or something like that. Uh-huh. And he was a really good guy. So his was, we sold the house. So he's holding the sign. It's like, we sold the house. And then hers was, and I'm pregnant. And then I'm in the far back going, I only sold the house. And people, the comments I got from there, they're like, no, that's hilarious, right?
Oh, man.
Now, I did get the old phone call. It's like from my company that I was working with at the time, just saying, hey, like, I think you're kind of pushing the envelope, is exactly what they said. And I was like, well, I'm having fun, but I don't really want to sell homes. Yeah. So there was a girl, Carol Kopke, that was also at the same company I was at. And she said to me one day, she's like, hey, you live in Mount Bridges. I live in Mount Bridges. If you ever need help, let me know. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. She's like, I've never heard somebody like hang up on somebody saying, hey, listen, I don't really sell homes, but thanks for the call. Mm. And so like I had people calling, and I was just kind of explaining, hey, like I did that for a friend, for Heather. I sold her house, and then I did it for a close friend. But people were seeing this stuff on Facebook, and they were almost like, hey, we want our picture. I'm like, well, you have to sell your house to get a picture. They're like, I know, come sell our house.
Okay, so this is something I really wanted to touch on with you, and I'm glad you mentioned that because it kind of dovetails into my question. You're doing all these things, you're being disruptive, you're kind of going against the grain of what a typical real estate agent may or may not do. Did you find that now, and again, to do these things with the client, that takes a lot of trust on their end too, right? So did you find that you started to attract clients that were kind of like-minded, that they saw you and they're like, I want to work with this guy because he's like our kind of people? Like, did you find that starting to happen?
That's exactly what made it fun, right? Was that I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know exactly what I was doing, like in the real estate field at the time. And I was actually making waves, and it was some new guy coming in. I think if I knew that I wanted to do real estate as a full-time career, I probably would have taken it more serious at the start. Like I took it serious. Don't get me wrong. Like when it came down to this is somebody's largest investment of their life, probably.
Yeah.
So I don't want them to lose out. I want to help them out as much as I can, but doing what I did naturally, like I would go in there and like weed eat for them. And then they would say, hey, we're ready for pictures. I'm like, no, you aren't. I'm like, that shrub's not even, like trimmed up nice, or like this could be done, or like there's paint flaking on your front door. Let me paint it. Right. So then just good reviews after that, where people would say like, that was a great experience. It wasn't just a handshake, sign some papers, take photos of the house and get it out, right? Like that's kind of what real estate is. Like when you come down to it, that's what it is. But it came down to like the negotiations were fun, like to see like what you could do, get as much as you can for your client. Client response was really good, like them telling their friends and then having somebody call me up, hey, you sold our friend's house. And then it was more like, not like, let's sit down handshake. It's like, let's have a beer and let's talk about selling my house. So you kind of attract your own people.
Yeah,
I guess.
For sure. Yeah. Well, I think that's awesome because, a lot of people, they do just want someone real working for them, and someone that's probably going to, tell it like it is, be a straight shooter, that sort of thing. You've got, not that other realtors don't, but you've got their best interest, in your views there. Now, I also want to talk about and ask you about social media. You mentioned a few times about Facebook and that sort of thing. I obviously started to see you on social media, and as a marketing guy, paying attention and whatever, I did notice a trajectory happening. Was that just me, or did you notice that you started actually, like, social media became a really good tool for you? Can you talk a little bit about social media as a tool for business and helping your growth and that sort of thing?
Yep, for sure. So I think when I first got onto social media was like 2007, right?
Okay.
I think that was kind of the year, that I got on there.
Yeah.
And then I got into real estate at about, I think 2013 or 14. So I had a good like 7 years on there. So I had to take some stuff off of my Facebook.
As we all do.
A few years into real estate, because I was like, I don't think anybody needs to see my butt crack on the beach, like mooning a boat. One of my buddies coming in. So there's some things I kind of had to take off going, hey, listen, like I'm a salesman now. Like I'm a professional. Mm-hmm. But anyways, I think like with Facebook and that, I think I use it as almost like a personal outlet, right? So like if you were to talk to me just on my own with my friends, like people would think, oh, Kev's got 1,000 friends. It's like, I got a lot of friends through Facebook because people are like, I love what you do. And I am very personal. Yeah. Like on Facebook, it's not just like sales, like with my clients and that, like it's me, it's personal. Like I used to have my doggies on there. Like I would call it Wiener Wednesdays. So I would put my wiener dogs on there and just show people like me just playing with my wieners. Yeah. And then I actually had a husky wiener too, but that's a long story.
Oh boy.
Okay. So so like I would have like something like Tuesdays would be something personal that I did, and then like Friday nights would be the Knights game. So it shows me going out. It shows like who I am. And then I do a lot of charity. So before I got into real estate, I did charity like through my construction. Like if somebody needed help or something, I would give them like a really good deal on, construction, right? Yeah. So then I found that kind of helps in real estate too. Like if somebody needs help, like if they think that they're ready to go and I don't, I'm willing to say, hey, listen, like this isn't only going to help you, like it's going to help our sale, right? Yeah. So posting those kind of like the befores, the afters and that on Facebook was really interesting. So I saw a little bit of a following, right? Like, what sign will he make next? Or like, what's he going to work on next? Or so like I saw likes were going up. And then in 2007, I would get a few likes here and there for the things I did. And then when I got into real estate, it was like that turned into 50 likes and then that turned into 100. So people were like really liking this. And then now it's like 300, 400, 500 likes on some things. I'm like, I'm famous.
Yeah. Well, you're reaching
in a small town.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we can talk about that too. I think that, obviously nowadays, and I've got 4 kids and whatever, and the whole social media thing, it's just like, there's a lot of conversation around that, mostly from a negative tone, but to use it for business as a tool, I think it's still very powerful. And I think you use it very wisely for a business tool, obviously, right? For people to get to know you, that sort of thing. Because really, you know, if I'm looking for a realtor and I'm going to enter into this relationship with a real estate agent and trust them with my home, I want to know the type of person they are, you know, what I'm getting, that sort of thing. So I think that allows your true persona to really come through, right? So I don't know. I think it's just genius what you've done. I want to ask you too about sales. So you mentioned this earlier on about, you know, being a salesperson, and I struggle with this as well. Is that like you fall into this category of like salesperson, like like, okay, people think of a salesperson as like someone with a suit and a tie, and I'm going to sell you a car, and no knock about against car salesmen, but you know what I mean, like so what? But sales to you, how, like what is it? How do you define sales? How do you define being a salesperson? Because you are a salesperson as a realtor. But what are the key components of really building, you know, a trustworthy relationship with clients?
I think it's where I see other people as like salesmen. I had to be a salesman, or like you had to sell your product if I was going to trim like somebody's house, right? So they would call you, they would call like a couple other people and see the price and that. But sometimes it doesn't come down to price, it comes down to workmanship. So like if I can have some sort of a rapport like with them, or feel like I'm on the same level, and then show them my history of work and like people who have been happy with that work with construction, then they hire you.
Yeah.
So I think in real estate, if you can show people like, here's a history of my work, here's a history of my clients, and here's who I like to attract, and here's who I like to work with, right? So being a salesman or a salesperson or a sales rep, I think we all kind of have to do that for our job, right? Yeah. So maybe in marketing, like you have to sell your services, and that's why I was attracted to you, because I feel we are like-minded.
Yeah.
So I think that was one thing, is just with sales, I think you also have to be on like a personal level with your people. And I got to a point, this might be shifting gears, but I got to a point in my real estate career, I think I've been doing it 13, 14 years, where not that I wasn't attracting people that I wanted to work with, but when you were number 2 in a company of 330 people, and then you were ending up like top 100 of Canada, you get these phone calls from people that are like, hey, like, I want you to work for me. I'm like, wait a second.
Interesting.
I'll work with you, but I want to work for you.
Yeah.
And then you get people calling you just because you ended up number 2 out of whatever.
Okay.
So that was kind of shifting to people who were like, I want this for my house. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. I'm like, well, that's not exactly the science to my sales, right? So it's kind of, yeah. So I wanted to get out of that. And that's kind of how I ended up at Platinum Key, right? So we can talk about that. But yeah, I think it's just kind of having like a personal rapport with the people and showing up and actually having like-minded attitudes, because if you don't, it falls apart.
Yeah. So I love how you talk about that, because I think that, and for those listening, you know, as early entrepreneurs or business owners, like we both are, we've had some years, but early on, I mean, I was guilty of this, of saying yes to clients that I knew wasn't going to be a good fit. It happens, right? And I mean, you fall into it for sure. Me too. Absolutely. But I think that, and I don't know if there's a lesson to be learned here or not, because I think as an early entrepreneur or business owner, you just have to say yes a lot. You've got to put in those reps, and, you know, and you have to understand who is a good client for you, why you shouldn't have said yes, that sort of thing. I like how you said you like working with like-minded clients, people that you want to work with. At what stage did that kind of flip, where you felt that you were more in control of really making sure, like choosing, having the power to choose?
Well, like you were just saying, like sometimes you feel like you want to say no, right? And you don't. And it's like, maybe I'm flipping this on to you, but you probably take on clients that you want to help. So like if they come in and you just don't feel that there's a vibe there, just don't feel, but you still want to help them.
Yeah.
And it's just like something like that could be a weakness of ours, right?
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're right.
I just had one, it was a few months ago, and they were an absolute nightmare client. And I knew from the start, I knew from their history, I knew from that they were probably going to be not easy. So maybe I took it on as a challenge.
Yeah.
And then I helped them out, like they go on vacation, like I get their grass cut and this and that, just to find out that they've already done a private deal, even while I had them like under contract. So once our contract's up, and then they were resistant to like, hey, I got a great offer. Like this is an insane offer for this market, for this price of home. And then they were like, no, like we're probably not going to sign it. And then I was like, I know what you're doing. And I'm still sitting here trying to sell your house and trying to smile and looking at your text messages every day. Like, how long is our contract? I'm like, oh man. So it's like, I knew that they were doing me dirty, but I still went, hey, you know what? You just got to learn from it. So I think sometimes you just want to help the people, and it just, you fall into going, fine, I'll go out and help you.
Yeah. Well, it's and I think we both have this, is you just want to please people, you know, you want to make a difference. I mean, I think I've gotten better, but definitely fall into that trap for sure.
No is a very powerful word.
Yeah,
it's hard to
absolutely.
Say.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. And when somebody calls you and, you know, like you pick up your phone and you want to help people. And then if you have to say no, like I feel, that takes me so long to say no. But once you do, it's like, okay, good.
Now, do you feel that you're better at listening to your instincts now, or you just have experience with, I've seen this before, I'm not going to go down this? Is it a bit of both, or, you know, do you feel like you've gotten better?
No.
Hey, honest answer. I love it.
No, I'm still going to take on a shitty client. Yeah. And I'm going to try to help them as much as I can.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the abuse. Right?
Yeah.
But just knowing that one client can seriously suck the life right out of you. Right? Yeah. Like I remember coming home from Detroit. I had a good few days away, and my clients know that I love to go to baseball games. I love to go to Toronto games, like Blue Jays games and that. Yeah. And then sometimes they'll call, and let's say like somebody hits a single or something, like people are clapping. I'm like, hey, just letting you know, just at the Jays game. They're like, oh, you didn't have to answer. I'm like, no, I do. Yeah. Right. Like, I feel like I do. Like, I don't think I've ever went on a vacation and never handled like something about real estate for at least like an hour per day or 2 hours per day. Yeah. But like you have these clients who sometimes just want to rant, just want to like just tell you that they've had a bad day, right? But there's some clients where you have to check in with them saying, hey, like, is everything okay? And then they're like, no, we trust the process. Just let us know. So there's all kinds out there. So when it comes to picking and choosing, I think, you know, like right from the start, like if you're working for them or if you're working with them. Got it. So I'd rather work with people, but sometimes you have to work for them and not exactly swallow your pride, but kind of go by their guidelines. Yeah, I love that. I want to ask you about communication, because you just touched on that, which is really good. Communication. What are your thoughts on that? And you mentioned just now about, you know, sometimes you need to check in with the client, sometimes they're checking in with you. Like how often are you know, how important is communication? I know we all know it's important, but like is that a key part to your success, to what you're doing with your clients? Or you're constantly checking in with them, you're allowing them to check in with you whenever they need you, that sort of thing? That is the number one reason why people go on to use a different realtor. So like if you've signed up with somebody and then you just feel like they weren't communicating. So I get phone calls that say, hey, listen, we were listed with like so-and-so. We had no communication like whatsoever. And you never know like exactly what they're meaning. Like, but they say like communication wasn't great. Right. So I think that's something where when I first get a lead, like it might come through an email. And as soon as I get it, I don't care where I am really. The first thing to do is call them real quick. Right. Yeah. So then they're like, holy, like you've already called me. Like I just sent this email. And then somebody's like, is this a robot like an AI? I'm like, no, this is, I mean, they're like, I sent you an email. I'm like, well, you sent your number, so I thought I'd call you back. So communication is like number one. Like I tell people like right now, like it's a tough market. Like I'm sorry, you know, it's not moving.
Yeah.
But if you're showing them like you're doing as much as you can, like if you're showing them, you're putting it out on social media, you're communicating with them, you're touching in, I think that really shows that you still have interest, right? So I think communication, number one, 100%.
Yeah. So I mean, sounds cliche, but I think you're right. Like it's such a core part. Like even today, like I checked in with a client. All was good, but then I learned something new about their business. That check-in actually, you know, is going to lead to something else that perhaps we might not have talked about because they were like, oh, you know, we're thinking of this. Do you do this? Similarly to you too, is that like the more you communicate, the more you're going to uncover or understand different things that they need, different needs. Maybe they do need their grass cut, and they're like, "Hey, do you know someone that cuts grass or whatever?" You can help them. I would imagine navigate through a lot of these things.
Yes. Yeah. Like from my construction in the past, it's like if somebody needs one shingle, right? Like a shingle blew off the roof. It's like you have somebody, like you have a painter, you have landscapers. Well, half the time if it's just a small job, like I'm not going to say like I painted somebody's whole house and then that. So if it's a small job, I'll put on a piece of trim for somebody in that. So that just helps, I think, having like a Rolodex of a lot of people. Like I even get people asking, hey, like since you know so many people, like I need somebody for my car. I'm like, well, I have those people too, right? Yeah. So it's kind of nice having that.
So, Kev, we talked about the importance of communication with building relationships with clients, having open communication where they can communicate with you, you can communicate with them. I want to know a little bit about how honesty plays a part with a client relationship, because even myself with clients and that sort of, I want to be honest, but I can be honest to a fault sometimes, right? And I want to know because I know you wear your heart on your sleeve, you're super honest and ethical person. Where does honesty come into, you know, building these client relationships? Do you lose some jobs on this or some clients? Like talk to us about that.
I would say that honesty, it's kind of a funny thing. I think you need that in life. And if you want to fall asleep at night, you just want to fall asleep knowing that you were honest, right?
Yeah.
So I think I've lost more jobs than I can even count on honesty. So
interesting.
You walk into somebody's house and they already feel like they have the nicest house on the block, and just because they live and breathe there, and they have the nicest this and nicest that. And then if they think their house is worth $1 million and you come in and you tell them, I think it's about $875, like we can try $899, they're just like, oh, not my house. So then you already know that it's not going to work, right? But the thing is though, I always leave them with, hey, listen, this is what I'm thinking. It might not be what somebody else is thinking. And you might have a one-off where somebody walks in and says, hey, this is the exact sight, sound, and smell that I want. I'm going to pay this much money.
Right.
So I've walked away from jobs and I've watched them go through this realtor at this price, like 1 million.
Yeah.
I've watched them go through the next realtor at maybe 975. I watch them go through the next realtor at 950. And then I'm like, when am I going to get my call back from being honest? But they don't want to call you back because they're like, hey, listen, I know that I was heated. I was wrong. You know, like, would you come and sell our house? I would love if somebody called back and said, hey, listen, that 875, 899 you told us, well, that's where we are now. And sometimes you see them selling for under, right? And you don't want to say, I told you so, but you kind of want to give them like a poke on Facebook saying, hey, I'm right here. But if they would have listed at this at that time, the market wouldn't have passed them down.
Sure.
So like if you overlist, I think you lose a lot of like interest. Like people come to see like what it is. They already see nobody's coming back, and then you're stale. So I lose a lot over honesty because I lose it out to somebody who's going to be your highest price and your lowest commission. Right?
Yeah.
So
right. Yeah.
Honesty, if I wasn't honest, I would have 1,000 listings right now.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, So a couple things on that, a couple takeaways from that is that, I could say, no, Kev, I think my house, I'm going with the realtor told me my house is worth $1 million. Then it stays on the market. It comes down, it comes down, it comes down. And then people are just seeing it's continuously dropping in price.
Right.
I would imagine that has an impact on how effective it is for me to go to market. Like, and I don't know, I'm asking this. So I list my house for $1 million, where truly, if I'm going with an honest assessment at like 850 or whatever, and it just keeps going down, does that affect like how impactful I can be in the market, or can you kind of reset? Sure. Can you reset in a lower price?
You might find somebody who's in a price range that is just coming into the market, right? So maybe it is timing, right? Yeah. So that person wasn't there 2 weeks ago, but now they've entered, they've called a realtor and said that, hey, we're looking up to 900, and you fall in there. So sometimes timing works. Yeah. But a lot of the time is if you sit on the market, then people are going to think, what's wrong with it? If nobody wants it, what's wrong with it? Yeah. And I try to tell people, it's like, I call it the pretty girl on the dance floor, right? If there's a pretty girl on the dance floor, people are lining up to dance with her, right? Well, if there's a pretty girl on the dance floor and there's no lineup, you're going like, what's wrong?
Right. Yeah.
What's wrong? I don't know. Yeah. So you want to cause like attention, attraction, and passion. And then a lot of people just lose their passion, right? We don't have that same emotion going into this house as we would have at like 900. Like 900, we think that's a fair deal. We need to jump on it.
Sure.
Like 1 million, it's like, I think we're being stretched. There's really no passion there, right?
So I got it. Yeah.
So overpricing can lead to actually having the market pass you by. Yeah. And you're actually going to get less for your home.
Got it. That makes sense. Yeah. I also, you brought up a good thing here too that I want to ask you about, where I didn't realize this really. I mean, I've bought and sold homes and I've experienced it obviously as a client. But I guess I didn't realize the impact of people being so personally connected and tied to their homes, because this is a room my kid learned how to walk in. This is a room that, or we had, a special birthday. So you're so personally connected to this home that
that I can understand. Okay. Yeah. I can understand if you're personally connected to the home. If like, this is where my baby took the first steps, this is where this and this and that, there's all their heights and the door frames, right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind like talking about that personally connected and people just not wanting to let go. It's the people that are materialistic connected, if that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. It's like we have the best IKEA carpet area rug on the street. We have the nicest furniture. Our house is the nicest. It's that's a material. So like I can see like if they were caught up in, hey, like this is where our good times were. This is where we spent afternoons at the pool, had friends and family over. So I can understand that. It's just when you're connected to something, just materialistic. I see.
Yeah. Are you finding yourself to be, obviously it's super personal or personal, these relationships you enter into. Are you navigating through all these? Hey, a couple's crying because they're remembering their baby taking their first steps and that. Do you see a lot of that? And are you having to be like a psychologist sometimes / real estate agent? I'm just curious.
Well, if I didn't have a heartbeat and I wasn't human, I think I wouldn't really be on the same page. But I've shared tears. Like I deal with I call it the 3 Ds. Like people think, or people try to show like a side of real estate where everybody's happy, right? But like you deal with a divorce, like you deal with a death, and you deal with despair. So like if you show up, and we had a market where like rates were like 1%, 2%, and then that's kind of coming to an end now. So people who got their like absolute dream home, their home for life, they have to sell them now because rates went up to 4-5%.
Right.
So then you're sitting across from somebody saying, I can't afford this. And then you share tears with them because it's like, oh man, that's got to be rough, right?
Yeah.
Like I hate going through that.
Yeah.
Like sometimes there's a divorce and sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad, right?
Yeah.
But you share tears, or like somebody had, I don't know, like not to get too personal, like somebody had a death in their family and they can no longer walk around that house, right? But it's really tough. So yeah, so you share tears and you share that emotion and that, and it's really tough.
Yeah, again, the things that we don't see on social media because everyone's happy and whatever. But I guess these are the things as a realtor that make it extremely difficult. I would imagine. I mean, I don't think I could do that. And yeah, you're a very connected person, so I imagine you take on a lot of those emotions from your clients too. So yeah, that would be definitely difficult for sure.
You kind of have to pick and choose like how you want to sell your product, right? Or sorry, like how you want to market your product as sold. I just had a client, and she's hilarious. Like she was a nurse for many, many, many years, just has that attitude of like she can be straight faced and straight laced and then she'll throw in like a funny comment, and I'm like, shit, where did that come from? Nice. So I just did a video with her, and I went in, like I put my arm around her, and she knew she knew what she was doing.
She knew the
shtick.
shtick.
My arm like around her. Yeah. I got her a chocolate cake that said sold, and then so she's super happy with the sale. But on camera, I'm like, this is going to make people think. Yeah. So I said, hey, we're with another happy customer from K&K Platinum Key Realty, and how was your experience? And she's like, well, it was okay. I'm like, oh, how could we do anything different? She's like, well, vanilla would have been better. And then I'm like, all right, well, here's another happy client with K&K. And some people watching that, I'm sure there's somebody out there going, well, she doesn't look happy.
Right.
But it's like, you just know. It's like, she's having a great time, loves us, loves them, like loves the London Nights. We have great talks. Like those are the people like I want to work with. Like they have a sense of humor too, right?
Awesome, man.
But there's also people like friends and family where it's really hard times where like, yeah, it's not all jumping around having fun. Like you go home and think, like if they don't sell their house and they're in shit, right? Yeah. Well, that's not me to take on, but you do take it on.
But you do take it on.
And you think about it at night, and it's like, it's really shitty. Like it kind of rips me apart sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, Kev, can you talk to me a little bit about community, charity, the importance of community? What I notice about you is you're very involved in the community. And then B, I notice like these billboards that you do differently and I'm not going to say it right, but, care, like the billboard will say something really big about, be kind, and that sort of thing. And you don't even realize it's your brand. You don't even realize it's you. You're not leading with Kevin Kingma or K&K, or Platinum Key. It's like this message, this very positive message. And then, by the way, it's the K&K team or Platinum Key or Kevin Kingma. Can you talk about community and the importance of it, and how you really get involved in community?
I think from growing up, I was always I was the guy on the hockey team who would always organize like sleepovers, or like I would organize going to say like London Nights game with the guys. And then as I got older, it turned into like, let's take a limo bus, like everybody. So I would be the one who set up the limo bus and set up the group of guys and set up this and that. And then I remember having friends who were like, I don't want my picture taken, blah, 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 right? And then after, we had the greatest time ever, like going to the Joe Louis, playing on the ice.
Nice.
In the final year. And then guys a week after, hey, do you have a picture of me on the ice? Oh, I thought you didn't want pictures, right? So anyway, I was always kind of the guy to like organize like parties. Like I would have a party for my birthday on Halloween. My birthday's in September, but I would wait till Halloween. And then there would be 200, 300, 400 it got to like 600 people. So like I knew that I had something about bringing people together, like a promotion, right? So I think with the community, I like just looking around and going, hey, like if there's new people in the community, like get them involved, right? Like let them know like where to go, what to do. Like there's Lions clubs, there's Optimist clubs, there's there's Cub Scouts, everything, right? So I was in the Army Cadets. So I think that was something that was really cool to be a part of when you're like 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So I think just seeing like a community, when they support you, like you want to support them. Like I grew up in Mount Bridges, so this is my 45th year in Mount Bridges, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel I kind of started something while I was younger, just like saying hi to people or knowing people through my parents and just talking with them or working in their homes in construction, right? So you've already worked in their home and now you're selling their home, right? So like I think it's kind of just worked out for me knowing that I like to get so many people involved together. Like we have charities. I have a golf tournament. It sells out every single year. If we do like a dinner at the community center, like it sells out. If we do a comedy show, like for Canadian Mental Health Association, which we do a lot of work with, they sell out, right? So it's just cool to see everybody coming together. And it just, that's kind of the part of me that I love that. I love putting on things.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. You see, I know there are certain people like you that become the glue of, bringing people together, that sort of thing, right? Like the fabric of the community. So, good on you for sure, because I do notice it personally. I know you're out in Mount Bridges. I'm kind of out that way too. So I do notice that, everything from like, when the arena was about to shut down, you're front and center, right? To again, like mental health, to you name it. It just seems that Kevin Kingma is there to support and to help out. Is it? How do I say this? So is it good for business, or is it just a personal? And there's no right or wrong answer, but I imagine, being involved in the community is good for business, obviously good for brand recognition. But then the other part is that you really, really do care.
Right.
So how do you combine those things where you're like, well, I'm doing this for business. No, I'm doing this because I personally care. Is it just one without the other? Are they both combined, or how do you do that?
I would say I've been kind of asked this many times. Like I have like mentors in real estate. So like they ask, and then other people that see what I'm doing, like they really do ask like, hey, like you do a lot of community stuff. Does that help your business? And I'm like, of course it does, but it's not forced, right? Like, it's not forced. Like I'm already looking forward to doing another golf tournament next year. Like we raised $60,000 for the Canadian Mental Health Association, and we're up to, I think, almost 150,000 raised that goes straight there.
It's amazing.
Right. So I think in my term of real estate, I think I've helped with the support of the community raise, I think we're at like a little over 450,000, like towards our community, whether it's Lions Club, like it's gone towards a splash pad. Like I have my name on the splash pad.
That's
like,
awesome.
As a donor. I have my name on the, playground equipment and behind the arena.
Nice.
I have my name on a, and it's not just about having my name. Like they put donors' names on things. Like there's a thing at the public school. I went to the public school there, and they have like a friendship circle. So I paid for all the landscaping in that, had a landscaper do it. And then if somebody feels left out, they sit like in the friendship circle, then people come and join them.
Huh.
And I will tell you, I've had times where I'm 40 years old, and I go with a friend. I'm like, hey, this is our old public school, and let's sit in the friendship circle. And it's a good feeling that like, you see your name and you go out, and the accessible trails. Yeah, like a good friend of mine, he's in a wheelchair, and he does rock and wheel, and just absolutely awesome to see. Like there's these trails out there that you helped put together or get done. So, so yeah, sure. Like, does it help? It helps your inner peace. It helps just knowing that you can make a difference. I think with me, sometimes I do more charity than I do real estate some days. And it's amazing. Yeah. So I just love doing it. And there's so many people who just help out. Like they get involved, and like I'm blown away from the community support. But I think you support your community. They support you. It's nice.
Yeah,
really nice.
No, that's amazing. What are some of the charities, and can you go through some of the things that you're involved in?
I would say lately I'm mostly focused on the Canadian Mental Health Association in Strathroy, right? Just because this might be another episode, but I have my own struggles. I have my own. I think everybody does, but. To a point where I want to see other people get some help and services in our community, right? Because I think there was a thought in before that if we need help, we have to go to a larger city, whether it's London, whether it's Toronto, but we do have the services in Strathroy Caradoc. So I really want to push that for people.
Huh.
Yeah. So they don't have to leave. And sometimes that's their fear, is like leaving their house or trying to get out or getting the confidence to call for help.
Right.
So I think that's why it's huge. Like that's my main focus, but there's also so many of them. Like our local hockey team has been really good to me. Like you played for the Bulldogs.
Yeah,
right?
we both played for the same hockey team.
I heard that.
Different times in our hockey careers. But
I'm sure
that's
we
cool.
probably had the same amount of penalty minutes and points.
Probably.
I think we were that kind of player.
Yeah.
But one of the coolest things I've ever had was I had a Kevin Kingma night with my old hockey club, the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And I actually got to drop the puck for the game.
Nice.
And they gave me a number 14 sweater. And I was like, I'm blown away. Like,
that's awesome.
That was my NHL.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
So like I see these guys in the NHL coming back when they're retired. I was like, that's my NHL. Like, that made me feel like on top of the world.
That's incredible.
I was getting photos like with the mascot, like with the teams. And I was chatting with the captain of the team. And like we started kind of texting each other after just to check in. And it's really cool, like how you really are like a part of the community when you grow up in the community. So I never thought from my playing days that they would honor me, but it wasn't my playing style that they honored, right? It was like me as a person.
So no, for sure.
That was amazing. That was one of my favorite times ever.
That's awesome. Can you talk a little bit more about your golf tournament that you do? Yeah.
So the golf tournament, we began that with the Lions Club, like in Mount Bridges, just knowing that we were at a time where we needed a splash pad, right? A lot of other towns and cities were getting a splash pad, and we didn't have one. And we have this lonely park that has a lot of space.
It does.
And with like nowhere really for kids like to go.
Yeah.
So when we heard that, we thought, hey, like, why don't we do like a golf tournament? And then I think we raised about 10 or 15,000, and then we were feeling pretty good. Like that's pretty good on your first start, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the next one was about say 12 or 15,000. Next one was 15 to 20. So we actually raised, I think, I don't know how many times, like 100,000. I think it was 107,000 for the Lions Club.
Wow.
So they were able to do some things there. So I felt like that was a good partnership. And then when the Canadian mental health, when that kind of hit me, I think it was after COVID. Like I hate mentioning COVID. Anyways,
Wow.
I think that's when I noticed like my health and my mental health and being told that you can't leave your house or see friends. Like that's important with me. Like not having kids and that, and living just a street away from your parents, and that was just like you can't. So I think my mental health was really hit then. I think because my brain, it doesn't shut off. So like if I'm sitting at home, that's my downtime. Like that's not a neighborhood I want to be in.
Yeah.
I want to be out. I want to be helping people. I want to be talking to people. I want to see people, right? So I had those feelings of just going like, oh no, like this isn't good. So then I was wondering how the next person would feel, right? Like sitting at home where they can't go out. At least I have like a little hot tub I can go and sit in. But some of my pals who played hockey that play in like a larger city, think about those guys who, they go out and they play hockey, but now they're in their condos and there's no grass, there's no lawn, there's no nothing. Like they're just sitting and waiting for this, to stop.
Yeah.
So I think after hearing like a lot of people's struggles and just not knowing where to go, and after I found out like we have services like right near us, I think that's when I was like, I got to get this word out.
Nice.
Because there's a lot of people around me that are suffering.
Yeah.
And then myself, like I'm struggling. So just knowing that there's a place that you can reach out. And they answer.
Yeah.
And they have services. Well, they have a lot more services now from the help of our community. So these golf tournaments have really turned into something where people want to be involved. They see where the money is going. They see the difference it's making. And I think it's really impacted a lot of people. And they tell me, obviously they don't say names, but they say, hey, listen, like we've had 2 or 3 people come forward after this, or we've had this. And that makes me feel like, hey, this is working. Like we're actually doing something that's making a difference.
Yeah.
And I think getting that phone number out there for the reach out program, I think just knowing that they tell me that they bought pillows for people. They told me that they've gotten socks, and like, these are just the smaller things. Like they've purchased a vehicle through Mount Bridges Ford who helped them on a really good deal. So now they can actually go and help people get to their doctor's appointments and home, where some people feel like they can't get out. So it's really made like it's when you hear so many things, like you help somebody get their license what's it called? Not reinstated, but just renewed.
Renewed, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like
just
these
something
little
simple
things
like that.
To us, that we might think like this is $100 and somebody's like, well, what if I lose this? I lose my job. I can't drive this and that. And then where people are struggling, they can help them. So all about like $150,000, like when people donate, I want them to know that $10 goes a long way.
Yeah.
Like $100 goes a long way. So it doesn't always have to be like $1,000 or that. So I think one of my favorite times this year for the golf tournament was a lady in town, and she says, I've known her, like we say our hellos and good nights sometimes, and she's just a really sweet lady, right? And she once in a while tells me, I hope you have a good day, you deserve it. Just nice lady. So she said, hey, I don't have much, but I'm going to drop off $10 in your mailbox, right? Nicely handwritten envelope, right? The old school kind, $10 in there. And that to me meant so much, just knowing that, hey, this is what I can contribute. And I love that. Like if we had everybody do $10 rather than one person do $1,000 and somebody feeling like I don't have enough to donate, if everybody did $10, it would be incredible. But anyways, that was
it's that snowball effect. Do you find that being an active member of the community, being involved, that you've kind of seen that snowball effect where you've inspired others to also get involved? I mean, I myself, I'm busy. We're all busy, that sort of thing. I would love to be involved in community more, but until I see someone like you, I'll make excuses, right? And I'm like, well, wait a sec. Kev's just as busy, if not busier than I am, and he's making this time. Why can't I do it? Like, are you finding other people are inspired by your actions and they're coming forward saying, hey man, like you did this, like there's no reason why I can't do it. And you're starting to see some things happen snowball effect wise.
Do you want to hear my secret?
Yes.
Oh, it's not a secret.
Okay. Well, it won't be a secret after you tell it on the pod.
When somebody thanks me, it's really hard to take when I'm like, well, that wasn't me though. Like, yes, like I just said, hey, let's have a golf tournament, but there's Kate, my wonderful assistant. I call her Kate the Great. And then there's Meg, who I call her Magnificent. They're the ones who are like emailing people with like times of like, this is when the golf is on, like this is what auctions, they're going to grab the auction prizes. They are like saying, hey, like this team needs to pay or they need their names in. That's not me. Like I don't, personally, I don't have that time. I don't have that organization. I don't have that skill, right? So when people are like, hey, Kev, great job. I'm like, whoa, no, like there was Kate and Meg. There was the golfers. There was the golf course. There's the volunteers. There was like people like my mother who baked pies and we put them in the auction. And then one pie went for like $700. One pie goes for 600 and one pie I think went for 500.
Oh man.
But there's people out there like just those little things, like it makes you feel like a small community. Like sure, there's hockey jerseys and they go for a very good price. So there's very, very genuine, generous people out there that they know like when they're auctioning, that's just not for like a hockey jersey. Like it's for the whole situation. Right?
Yeah.
So I think it takes like, it's a team for sure. Like I could never do it on my own. It's just everybody else who is community, they come together. So when somebody says, hey, way to go, Kev, I'm trying to say like, no, like it's all these people. So When you come up with an idea and you, introduce that to your team, are they very much around like being open to the idea? And perhaps a lot of these ideas might not have legs, right? Like I'm guilty of that too. I'll go to my team and be like, hey, I've got this great idea. And as we workshop it through, whether it be logistics or I don't know, there's variables that might happen and you end up realizing, oh man, if it weren't for my team, I would have gone down this rabbit hole a completely different way. Do they kind of keep you on track? Or they, like, how does that work with your team? So they're all, like, they know they know their job and they know their job well. And I think one of their jobs is to keep me on track.
Nice.
Because I have 1,000 ideas. And if I did all of them, like 1% would get done. Right? So I think with having an idea, I think you need somebody to help you out with it, support it, just push it. I think you have to know your own weaknesses too, right? So
I like that.
I'm okay at making that initial phone call saying, hey, are you in for the golf tournament? And they say, yep. And then after that, like, I don't know, like if I called them back and say, hey, did you pay or not? That's where they're in behind.
Yeah.
Kate and Meg, they're going like, okay, we have their email, we have their number, we have this and this and that. Now, Kev, we need you to call them.
Right.
We're doing everything else here. So it's just like people keeping you on track. I think people sharing the same vision, the same values. I think it's rewarding after to see how people came together. I think every single person in that room, when we announced this year that we raised like 60,000, and it's not just one person like donating this or that. It's every single person, like every single dollar made that $60,000.
Nice.
So
it's amazing.
So the goal keeps on, I guess, rising from after doing like 30,000. That's a great golf tournament. And then 40 and then 60. I'm like, how the heck are we going to do that again? But you see like how many people are just genuine, generous, and just contributing and just really part of the community. And it gives them an outlet where they can support and feel like they were a part of it. Mm-hmm. So if I know that somebody's doing something good, say if it's a charity, I really want to help them because I know how much their help helps me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kevin, can you talk about, like, I know that you started with a smaller community brokerage in the Mount Bridges area. And for a while, I don't know how long.
So I actually had to jump in.
Jump in.
So right when I got my license, I began with what was considered a larger company.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I was there for 11 months. And then that's when Carol Kopke of Mount Bridges, that's when she came up to me and said, hey, listen, like, I think you could use some help. Like, you're turning away clients and saying, I don't really sell houses. So I began with a larger company for the first 11 months. And then I went on to a smaller company that I helped name and get going. Carol's the owner. Like, I didn't have ownership, but I wore the brand. Like, I had the brand on my underwear, on my socks, on my hats, everything. Right.
Nice.
So, so like, I was very proud to help start a small brokerage in a small town. Okay. So, so you're there. And then what I do know is that you left to go to the big kind of the bright lights, the big brokerage, that sort of thing. So like the big city, which we're all like, look, my career exactly like that too. I wanted to climb the corporate ladder, got up there and I realized A, it's lonely, B, it's not as making me any happier. Can you talk about, because I know you had a lot of success, doing extremely well with a larger big city bright lights brokerage. Can you talk about that journey? And now you're back, with the smaller community brokerage again. Can you talk about that journey and that mindset? 100%.
Yeah.
So I think what I've noticed is people want to deal with the person rather than the brand. Like, you are your own brand, right? So like, if you yourself, like, I called you up and I think I was fairly flattering to you saying, I want to work with you. Like, there's other people that can do this interview, but I would love to work with you. I like what you do. I like that. Mm-hmm. And then if you said your name was like, hip hop fresh, like media or something, or realty, it's like, not the greatest name, but might not cover everybody's liking, but I like you. Mm-hmm. So I think I've noticed that I went to a larger company after being with a smaller company, thinking that there would be more help or more bright lights or more avenues or that. But there was a lot of people that just know your phone number, know you, and they call you. And then I'm like, hey, I'm with this company. They're like, okay. Like,
right. That doesn't really matter.
They don't really care.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think what I got not really caught up in, because I enjoyed my experience. I enjoyed the journey. I think my first year, I think it was only half a year at this larger company, and I broke their top 21. Right?
Wow. There you go.
So it was half a year. So I was like, hey, that's pretty good. Yeah. So then I think on the next year, I was number 5 in the company. So like, I'm thinking, hey, well, this is really gauging my career. And then it was like, next year I was number 5. And I think last year I was number 2. Well, now I know. Yeah. I was number 2 out of a company with 330 agents. And then I felt like, hey, this is all right, but now what?
Yeah, you're at the top of the mountain.
So
now what?
Yeah. So like, you're when you place number 2 in a company like that, there's no extra givens or handouts or anything. It's just, hey, way to go. Next year you start at 0. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think I enjoyed having fun with the number 2. It's like, hey, I'm number 2. I'm not number 1, but I'm number 2. So like I made some jokes about that on social media where it's like I would go to the restaurant, I would bring my trophy and put that up there. This was all set up, but put my trophy on the table and the waiter comes up and he's like, oh, wow, did you make number 1? I was like, no, I'm actually number 2. He's like, number 1 would have got a free dessert since you're number 2. And then in the community, I went to the local gas station there and then the fellow goes, hey, you're number 1. Your money's no good here. I'm like, well, actually, I was number 2. He's like, your money's good here. Like, just showing like, hey, it's not number 1. Like my mother even made jokes. Like my girlfriend even made jokes. Like I put my trophy in a seat belt. And then she sat in the back seat. This was all, she knew what was going on. And then I showed her in the back seat and she's like, well, I could understand if you're number 1, but this is ridiculous. But so I made it seem kind of like, hey, like it's fun and all to be number 2, but at the end of the day, it's like you're only in competition with yourself.
I mean, it's an incredible accomplishment. It really is. But like, did it make Kevin Kingma the person different? And I think maybe, and again, I'm guilty of this too through my career, being like, oh, I'm gonna be better, I'm gonna be different. But I'm just same old Ryan. My buddies, still giving me shit, like whatever, right?
I think that we have to realize you're only in competition with yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
What your personal goals are might not match what this person's goals are. So it's a number, right? So like if you came in number 10 and somebody's like, well, number 10's not that good. It's like number 10's amazing. Number 21's amazing.
Yeah.
Or maybe that person at number, 200, they're super happy with life. Like their phone's not ringing off the hook. They're not taking every single call about this. They're not getting shit for this house not selling. They don't have 20 houses for sale. Maybe they sold one and they feel really good. Right?
Yeah.
So that's where I had to go like, hey, like this is kind of a reality check. I'm like, I'm doing really well, but I'm kind of the same guy. It's like, I really don't want to be in competition with anybody else except myself.
Yeah.
So I think I focused on doing as well as I could and getting to number 2 was amazing. Do I want number 1? I'm like, I think everybody wants to be number 1 sometime in their life.
Yeah.
But to me, that was number 1. That was awesome.
Great accomplishment.
Yeah, like I broke out of a small town brokerage. I went to a large company.
Yeah.
Ended up number 2 of 330 agents. And then now I'm like, wow,
now
this is a nice view. I kind of miss home.
Yeah.
So like when I called my old broker, Carol, like we were very good friends before. And then it was kind of like rekindling that friendship. It was almost like saying like, hey, I went to the big city and I kind of miss my family. So it was coming home and it was amazing. Like I just, now like I feel, and we have to get into Levi at some point of just how much he's played a role in like
we'll do
my success. But it was coming home, like feeling like you have a mom to call, like a real estate mom. And then you have a brother in real estate. And then you have a sister that you might have a couple conflicts with, but it's all in good nature. Like they want to see you do better. So it's almost going from like lights in the city to home.
Yeah.
So,
it's awesome. I love it, man. What a journey for sure. Yeah.